hello. Hello, hello. Come on in. We are actually, Kennedy and I. We're actually finishing up a project. This week, the letter is I. So, we made ice creams earlier today. Can y'all see that? So I always like to manipulate the activities that I do with the kids. So I'll give them like a letter, but then I include like color activities and different things like that, just to make them feel like they're reaching their milestones. So even though this week's letter is I, so even though they may be reaching their milestones in other areas, I like to mix up the lesson plan so that they are still using other activities and other things that they need to know. Good job, Kennedy. So, as you can see in the description, the video today, by request, is going to be about potty training. I get a lot of questions about potty training here and there. So I have a couple of my favorite tips that I tell my parents. You know, if you're one of my parents and you asking or inquiring about child potty training, I have a couple of tips, my favorite tips, that I'm going to give out later on in the video. But come on in. Come on in. Kennedy, you're doing such a good job. I'm thinking let's show these people down here. Can we show them? I like how she is using her imagination. She's only coloring a certain part of the ice cream. Doesn't that look good? Look, Facebook. Isn't that so neat? She only colored like a certain part of the ice cream, and you can look at the yellow one. That's so cool, huh?
It's the rainbow ice cream.
And then she has a rainbow ice cream. That's just so beautiful. Okay, so we'll just get into it. Potty training tips. One of the main things that I think is a strong skill, but oftentimes get looked over, is super important. Schedule potty training time. Schedule potty training times. What this means is, like, first thing in the morning, you wake your baby up. The first thing they do is go to the bathroom. Another thing to look at is at night. There should be a cutoff time. Remember I did the video on bedtime a couple days ago? At bedtime, and whenever the last time they eat lunch, I mean not lunch, but dinner, that should be like because they're transitioning and get ready to go to bed. But once again, if you have a child that's up with you 10, 11 o'clock at night, you are going to have a hard time potty training because your child is up and you're giving them intake all night and all different times of the hour. So you want to make sure that you stick to that bedtime regimen I was talking about in the other video. And so now you can implement a cutoff time for fluids and solids right before bedtime. It gives the body a little bit of time to digest it. You have a time, maybe 8 o'clock that they go to the bathroom, and maybe 7 or 8 o'clock is the last time that they have something to drink. Mind you, they're going to bed at 8, 9 o'clock. So you want to adjust properly. That's the key rule that I think a lot of times is looked over. You also are in control of their intake, so you're kind of in control of when they need to go to the bathroom. That is so nice, Kennedy. It's so colorful. So you're also in charge of their intake when they do go to the bathroom. So usually when you have something to drink, milk has a different effect on our body from water, as far as when our body digests it and let it go. But about 30 minutes after you feed your baby or you give your baby a certain juice or water or something like that, you want to send them to the bathroom. Maybe about 15, 20 minutes later. And you know you just gave them some intake, so you know that they're going to be going to the bathroom. If you give them solids, you know in a minute they're going to have to, have a bowel movement. If you're giving them liquids, you know after a while they're going to have to go pee. And it's just that simple. Ooh, you're going to change your hair up. Another tip I want to let you guys know is
Ms.peaches?
Yes.
I'm going to change my hair up, rainbows.
Okay. And match your ice cream. Another thing I want to let you guys know is stop 1 minute they're in Pampers, and the next minute they're in pull-ups, and then you're going to try the potty training thing, and then they're back in Pampers because you don't have enough pull-ups. If you're going to do potty training and you're committing yourself to it, which it is a lot of pressure on us parents, but what we need to keep in mind is that for the first year or 2 or 3, sometimes longer, of these kids' lives, the going to the bathroom has never been an issue. So they're not even thinking, in a minute, I'm going to have to put on underwear. You know, they're not even thinking that way. So you want to keep in mind that switching it up, that's just kind of adding confusion. If you're going to potty train, which I have a tip, my personal tip, I'll give that later on in the video. But if you're going to potty train, stick to one thing. If you're going to do diapers and then you want to switch to underwear, do diapers and transition to underwear. Don't do pull-ups and then you run out of pull-ups. Now they're doing this, and when they go to grandma's house, they do that. It's confusing them. You have to keep in mind that the bathroom has never been an issue this whole time. And now all of a sudden you're saying, don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. They don't know nothing about the bathroom. So just keep that in mind, okay? So we want to have a scheduled bathroom time in the morning when they first wake up. Definitely before they go to bed. A bedtime is, like I told you guys in the other video, very important, because now you can implement things and have a cutoff time. They're not coming to you all night talking about they're hungry and they got to go to the bathroom. No, because I'm telling you, you're in control of that. If you got your baby up all night, yes, they're going to have to go to the bathroom all night. Or yes, they're going to be up and down and peeing and this and that. Eliminate that. You don't have to put yourself through that. Okay? I'm going to need you to stop doing that. Okay? Thank you. The next thing I want to say is potty training is really big on us, the adults. It's a lot of pressure, especially if you work or you don't have dual people in the household. Potty training can be a lot on the parent because you want to stop buying diapers. You think to save money on the underwear spectrum of it, which is the right idea. Stay calm, stay calm, stay calm, stay relaxed. Stay calm, stay relaxed. Don't feel pressure. Once again, potty training is something that's never been an issue all of this time. So what we want to do is transition our children comfortably. We don't want to scare them. We don't want to, intimidate them. We don't want to upset them. We need something from them. We need them to go to the bathroom, okay? Can you come on here? You want to take your break, Mom? You want to finish your break? But Grandma here. Kennedy doesn't want to leave, and her grandma's here. Kennedy, you gotta go. You want to finish tomorrow? Come on, let's finish tomorrow. Oh, and then you can tell Grandma I'm about to leave. You don't have to rush. Don't rush. Don't rush. Don't rush. Yeah, take it with you, okay? Take it with you. I got you crayons for Christmas. You can take it with you. Look, tell everybody about it. Bye. Okay, take it with you. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry. Kind of what happens when you run the show by yourself. Production, teacher, management, HR, all of that stuff. But so that's that. So we're gonna do schedule bathroom times. Well, excuse me. So once again, we just want to keep a scheduled bathroom time. We want to see you later, pretty girl. Yes. She is. I'm gonna talk to her when we finish. Okay. The next thing after stay calm, we are going to do don't switch up between diapers and pull-ups and underwear and different things like that. And also, no more onesies. No more onesies. The thing about onesies is they counteract the whole potty training process. So you got to think about it. You have a 1-year-old that doesn't even dress their stuff, or a 2-year-old that, you know, all we've been teaching them to do is put their hands in and step into their pants. And now there's this onesie situation. Most teachers don't go into the bathroom with your children at 3 and 4 years old once they're potty trained, fully potty trained. So you want to keep that in mind for especially the shorter children. I have a couple of 2-year-olds that are fully potty trained, but I do have to remind the parents, no more onesies. No more onesies. So another thing that you want to keep in mind is that children will relapse. You know, you think at 3 and 4 years old, your child has fully gotten potty trained down pat, and then all of a sudden you send them to school or they start pre-K, and then they relapse. They start wetting themselves. You don't know what's going on. The teacher doesn't know what's going on. It could be the new environment. It could be because maybe you move into a new home. It could be a lot of different reasons why the child, maybe they're used to the bathroom being in a certain place at home or at a certain place. And now there's this new environment that they may feel pressured that they have to learn all over again. So it was already a struggle in the beginning for us to get them to say they got to go to the bathroom. Now here's this new teacher, here's this new parent or step parent or new home environment. So just keep that in mind. Once they will relapse. Not all the time, but they will. Just remind them. Stay calm. Don't pick them up from school and yell at them and say, oh, you know better. Or, oh, why you do this? No, this is still new for them. You're good at what you do, but sometimes you have your moments. They're the same way. They little people, they're the same way. So that's what's going to happen around 3, 4 years old. If your child is potty trained at like 2 and 3 years old, keep in mind, once you send them to school or you send them to somewhere else, private care, they may relapse, okay? That's all natural. It's all natural. My key for you guys will be to stay calm as possible. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. Set a bedtime, set a bedtime, set a bedtime. I already did a video on that. Set a bedtime. That way you're able to implement certain things between the time that you pick them up and the time that they have to go to bed. There's a homework time, there's dinner time, there's, you know, there's certain things, whatever your regimen is before you go to bed, and then there's bedtime. That's it. That's it. But if you're letting them do everything all over the place, that's exactly, you know, the habits that they're picking up. My tips, I mean, you're doing so good. My tips, number one is definitely first thing in the morning and first thing at night. Before you put on their clothes, before you rush yourself out the door, you may have to wake up earlier, whatever that may mean. But first thing in the morning, I definitely suggest taking them to the bathroom. Now, another thing is you guys get real scared when it's time to go to the store, or it's time to take them to school or something like that. That is potty training. You will want them to have mistakes inside the home, but the training part is when they're not inside the home. So don't stop switching. Keep on the underwear. When you wake them up and you send them to the bathroom, let me back up some. If you're potty training and it's bedtime, don't do pull-ups, don't do diapers. Let them wear underwear. You're potty training. You're teaching. You're not teaching if you sleep in the next room and they peeing all night. You have to get involved. It's going to take time, but the less time that you're involved, the longer it's going to take. Trust me. Parents do this in 3 days. And there's a 3-day process thing. I don't necessarily suggest it, but I'm going to get into it because it is popular. I'll get into that a little later in this video, but there is a 3-day process that's going around. People are talking about it. It seems to work very well for some people. Me personally, our community is not something that we necessarily practice, but I've been doing this for a long time. A schedule, a schedule, a schedule. You're in control. It's not about telling them what to do and making them do things that they're not comfortable with, but at the same time, you're raising your child. That's just what it means. You're raising your child. You're teaching them. Okay? Bypass pull-ups. That's another one of my tips. Bypass pull-ups. Don't do pull-ups. To me, the feel is the same as the diapers. You're potty training. We need to get in underwear. We need to know what it feels like to have, you know, this cloth on our body and not necessarily this cotton to protect us if we make a mistake. No pull-ups. I tell my parents, no pull-ups. No, we're potty training. We're potty training. We're potty training. Why are you buying pull-ups? It's a business. Yeah, they're gonna throw pull-ups in the middle for you to spend more money. It's the same thing as diapers. They can't take their diaper off. What make you think they're gonna take off a pull-up? And you got on a onesie. No. If you want to potty train them, jump right to the underwear, and they're going to have mistakes. I already told you that. It don't matter if they got on pull-ups, nothing, this, that, a cloth. They're going to have mistakes. You're going to clean up a mess. You're going to go to somebody's house, and they're going to sit there all nice and quiet and be done peed on these people's couch. It's just a part of it. It don't matter if they got on a pull-up or not. It's called potty training. No pull-ups. That's what I suggest. Parents, no pull-ups. If we're potty training, we're going from diapers and we're going to get right to it. That's simple. What color is that?
It's skin color. It's a skin color.
That's pretty cool. Thank you down here. I'm not neglecting y'all talking to Facebook. Facebook requested this video the most. So I'm talking directly to them. But we're definitely talking about potty training tips. I went over a couple general rules, and then I'm going over my favorite tips right now. The general rules is, first, always schedule a bathroom time. Make a schedule. You know, if you have to be away at work, you want to talk to the daycare or the child care provider and just let them know, hey, I'm potty training. And daycare providers have their own way of potty training. Some people don't even do it. Some people will help you. Some people charge more for potty training. Some people charge more if your child isn't potty trained by a certain child, by a certain age. Also, another thing is that I believe, I don't know this to be fact, but if your child isn't potty trained by the time it's time for them to start school, they can't enter. I don't know this to be fact, but if your child isn't potty trained by 5, by the time it's time, like by state, they have to go to school, like kindergarten, which means more money if you was paying daycare. So you want to go ahead and get your baby potty trained. So schedule potty times. You want to stop switching between Pampers and pull-ups and underwear and switching back and forth. If you're going to potty train, potty train. If you're going to do pull-ups, do pull-ups. If you're going to do Pampers until they transition, pick one and stick to it. The other thing is always stay calm. You never want to frustrate your children, especially when you're teaching them new things. Another thing is that no more onesies. That's the main thing. No more onesies. Onesies contradict the potty training. Like I said before, we're mainly teaching them to put their one hand in a shirt, or step into a pair of pants, or, you know, we hold up the jacket and they put their arms in the jacket. But the onesie, that's a whole nother situation. And then you got the teacher. And that's a whole nother situation. So if you're potty training, I suggest stop buying onesies at like 10 months, like 6 months, depending on the size of your baby. Because you're about to start potty training and you don't want to spend all this money on these cute little onesies when you should have been buying t-shirts. Just saying. And that's that. My rule is definitely set a time, at least once in the morning. Don't put on a pull-up or a pamper. If you're taking them to school or taking them to grandma's house, or you run into the store, take them with you and keep them on underwear. Your potty training. The training, the test comes when they're outside of the home. So you want to put them in a real life situation where they're going to have to tell you, I got to go to the bathroom. Mistakes are going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. I also tell my parents, I suggest to them to bypass pull-ups. Just eliminate pull-ups. Just eliminate. It just eliminate. Trust me, it's the same thing, and they don't hold as much. They don't hold as much. Bypass the pull-ups, go straight to underwear. Another tip that I think is super important for parents, especially new parents, I would say potty training should be not serious like potty training. But potty training should be serious, and it shouldn't be like an activity or a game, or they flushing the toilet, or they're finding all these other things to do when it's time for them to potty train. My suggestion is get a seat. Get a seat. That's what I would suggest to my parents. Get a seat. This way, the hole is small enough for their little bottom to fit in the hole. Get a little step stool and that's it. You get this potty and it's Elmo or it's whatever it is, Paw Patrol or Barbie or whoever, and it does all these other things. It becomes a toy. They've been playing with toys their whole life. So now this new potty, you talking about potty, and all they want to do is flush it. All they want to do is flush it or press the button that they're supposed to press when they go potty. They're not using the bathroom. Get a seat. Yes.
I did it.
You did it, Aaliyah. Look at that. She did it. The letter this week is I. For those of you who are just now joining, the letter this week is I. So today we did ice creams. I sent a note home for their parents. I don't know if you can see the note, but it's ice cream. So we did our colors. Once again, I like to mix up the lesson plan a little bit as far as what I'm teaching them. So that way they can excel, they can meet their milestones. I can kind of sneak in another lesson and we can stay on topic with the letter I for ice cream. And we got a big ice cream project tomorrow. They don't even know. But that's that. So that's it. Do you want to tell the people something? What do you want to tell them?
Bye.
You want to tell them bye? Not just yet. I want to tell you guys about the 3-day potty training thing that's going on. I've been saying it for a couple years. Maybe you guys have heard about it, maybe you haven't. But it's real basic, real simple, nothing major. I don't suggest it because I know in our community, our parents, our queens, we work hard and we work a lot. So sometimes we have to be the provider and the mommy and the this and the that and all this other kind of stuff. So to say a scheduled time that you're going to sit down in the house and strictly potty train, it may be a bit tedious or a bit strenuous to plan and to go through all of that. If you're a planner, if you're a home mom, if you are part-time, if you have an allotted 3 or 4 days to do this, go right ahead. But a lot of us don't. And so I get that. So I learned a lot of different stuff about a lot of different techniques, but I definitely listen to you guys and what you prefer and, you know, my personal opinions and stuff like that. I'm not knocking the 3-day potty thing, but at the same time, it does take a lot of work. One of the things that they go through is it's usually done on, like, they're saying like vacation, but it's usually done on like a long weekend, like a Christmas vacation, or it's done on like a day, a time when you're able, you have time off where you can literally don't have nothing to do. You're not committed to anything. The only thing that you're committed to is potty training this baby. So Chinese people, they sit their baby on a pot, not a pot, like a bucket. They feed them on this bucket and they do everything for these 3 days on this bucket. So the baby understands, which I think is super important, but the baby understands the process and that this is dominantly where you're going to go to the bathroom. And 3 days later, the baby get it. Okay, I think in our community, as far as Americans go, over here in where we come from, that's going to be a bit tough. So once again, I would suggest buying a seat or a little potty because you are going to spend a lot of time on the pot. A lot of time on the pot. Another thing that they do is they don't dedicate a certain time, but once again, they set aside like the 3 days that they're going to do it, which is normally like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever weekend or whatever vacation time, whatever you're going to, which I don't suggest on vacation, but if you have a block. Because you're going to be sitting in this, when I keep saying it, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're sitting there with your baby, and your baby's on the pot, and you're sitting there on the big pot, and they're sitting on their potty. Now you're interacting with your baby, you're talking to your baby, you're teaching your baby, and your baby's on the pot this whole time. Another way that people train in these 3 days is they call it the naked time. Well, the baby just run around naked. But I don't think that's a good idea because you run the risk of a mess. Anywhere, just any given place. I would have barricades up. Like the baby couldn't come in the kitchen. The baby couldn't go up the stairs. Like the baby, it's just a certain place that the baby could be. But at any time, I do believe in being free. So if that works best for you, once again, you definitely still gonna have to set aside this block. But another thing that they do in this 3-day process is they let the baby run naked. And so you're still involved. You're running behind this baby, you know, trying to chase the baby and time the baby, like I told you earlier, when you feed and when you hydrate the baby. there's a certain time after that that we all naturally are supposed to go to the bathroom. Babies more so are on schedule than adults. We put all the stuff in our bodies and then our body got to process it. Some stuff don't even process. Anyway, so our bathroom, when we go to the bathroom, may be a little different from someone who's 1 or 2 year old and they haven't been here long enough to put all that stuff in their body. So pretty much the babies and the toddlers, their bowel movement schedule is pretty regular. So that's that. The 3-day potty training is just basically a lot of like your baby is right here on the potty and you're in the bathroom with your baby. You feed your baby on the toilet. Everything happens on the toilet. The only time that the baby basically comes off the toilet is maybe like a little free time and then like bedtime and stuff like that. Chinese people, when they potty train, their culture, they put the baby on a pot that we will buy from like the dollar store, like a little, not a pot, a bucket. Like what we would call a beach bucket. And they put their baby on this bucket and they sit there with their baby. They feed the baby, they read to the baby, they teach the baby, and after a while the baby gets it. Over here in the States, I don't think that's so likable or whatnot. So what we do is let the baby run free for 3 days. But you have to teach the baby to go to the bathroom. So it takes a lot of connection. It takes a lot of connection to be able to do that with minimal mess. But once again, either potty training method, there's going to be a mistake. The mistake is going to happen. Okay? So I went over a lot of tips. You can catch me on YouTube. You can catch me on Facebook, like you guys are. You can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on Instagram, Infants and Toddlers, my logo. We have a website. We have lots and lots of good little goodies for parents and babies. Potty training tips. My favorite tips. The 3-day thing, the potty training thing that's going on, that's becoming more and more popular. All of that was included in this video. Aaliyah wants to say bye. I never want to say bye.